Paparazzi House.
Hello, Vikas. Great inviting you for this podcast, and thanks for your time. And we would like to discuss today about the power dynamics, and it's usually not been much discussed. So I could able to see you have amazing 15 years of track record in the financial services, and nearly 10 to 15, 10 to 11 years around. 11 years you're in Dubai, and probably I could able to see, and we know each other for many years, and that gives some confidence for us to learn from you. And how did you manage the corporate? It's a jungle.
Yeah.
So how do you manage the corporate jungle? Like you have lions and foxes.
Yeah.
And so you have managed many situations, and we would like to learn something from you and share your maybe experience to our viewers, mostly the juniors and the mid-level managers who is trying to navigate power in their organization and learn something best from the industry experts and could able to move forward in their career and in the business. So I'd like to understand how do you manage, because I understand you are in the sales department. So early you started your career as a sales, maybe junior analyst. So how do you felt about the recognition part? Because that is the like a kind of a discrepancy usually people get. Would like to start from there, then you could able to move forward on that.
Thank you so much, first of all, for the invite. And it's an absolute pleasure for me to be here and share the same stage with you and discuss about power dynamics, about my career, and the whole journey and how it can help our viewers. So yeah, starting, as you know, started my career in sales in Dubai. I was back in India. I was more into operations and asset management and asset servicing, whereas when I came to Dubai in 2014, it was my first sales role. And to be honest, I was very much against sales or doing or being the sales guy.
Wow.
So I don't know, I'm sure people have this notion about he's just a sales guy, so people don't opt for a sales career when you're growing up. So let's say when you're doing your bachelor's, when you're doing your master's, there are very few people who will be like, oh, I want to become, I want to go into a sales team, I want to be a salesman, I want to be a salesperson, right? So I of course had the same notion. But as soon as I was in Dubai, and I think I was out of options. And all I was getting was offers which were, sales related.
Sales related, okay.
And I didn't want to go back home.
I know.
To be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, I just took it up, right?
Wow.
And that actually changed my life, and that changed my complete view about sales and the preconceived notions what people have. Like now, of course, I started as junior sales, grew up the ladder, and now being the CEO and co-founder, I'm still selling, right? Because what is selling, right? Once you start doing sales, you actually understand the beauty of it, right? It's actually meeting people. It's actually knowing people. Yeah, it could be your clients, it could be your customers, it could be people who you're working with, right? And if you just take it by the day, it's more or less dealing with people. Product is something which is there. We know it's there. Like you have to sell the product, you have to sell the features and all the nitty gritty of the product. So you need to know the product knowledge, but that is something which can be easily taught, through trainings. And I was actually interestingly interviewing a candidate recently, and she was heading up a sales team. So she had studied finance, but she had 12 or 13 years of experience selling medical devices. So, medical industry, we always deal with, there's a lot of risk, technicalities are there.
Sure.
So I was actually amazed and surprised. And she was like, it's just a product.
Fluent, she's just...
absolutely. Like the training would be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You just get
Then
better
you
and
become,
better, right?
So did you, during that journey, like you started your career,
Yeah.
so did you felt any issues? Because one side, I understand that, probably rightly said, junior level, hardly people get into sales.
Yeah.
But you because of your personality, probably they might be understanding this person absolutely fit for sales. He could able to sell anything.
Yeah.
We call it like the eyes to Eskimos, kind of a model. So they realized, maybe the recruiter, you are the right person for selling their products, and especially the financial services.
Absolutely.
Selling biomedical equipments is could be just a product, but financial service is not just product. You build confidence. So the person, we are seeing a person, he looks, should be trustworthy.
Absolutely.
Right? And the attitude, style, the way they communicate, there are a lot of things looked into it.
Yeah.
So they realize that you are the perfect, capable
Yeah.
person for their financial products to be, reached to their clients. So obviously the journey I could able to understand that. So you felt any power related issues because now you start your career, and Dubai is like highly competitive, different culture.
Absolutely.
And obviously you need to be a bit more super fast to learn and stuff. Like, how did you started your thing, and how did you mingle with people? Did you get good recognitions and stuff like? So what is the thing like?
I think challenges are in every job. Right. In every corporate. That's the world we live in, right? So you cannot just escape that, or you cannot make that as an excuse. I think rising above that is important, right? So if I talk about my personal experience, of course there have been so many times where I have felt that I should be recognized or rewarded in a much better way compared to the peers I was working with, and I think that feeling. Especially initially, and I'm sure every, let's say, junior sales or even mid-level sales people would be going through even now, right? But I think the only way you deal with that, or I can say how I dealt with that, especially I think for sales it's easier, I would say, because it's a numbers game.
Okay.
Right? So there is politics, yes, no, but still, everything is, when it comes to numbers, your performance should speak for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. This is what I believe in. Right. People have different views about that. But I think sales is a more clear-cut position or department where your numbers will speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So even though if you're fighting battles within the team, with your manager, with the CEO. End of the day, you know what your targets are set, and it depends on you how you smash them.
Okay.
Right? So I always believe this is my role, and I know if I get this, I'm good. Right? Now, when it comes to rewards, of course, when it comes to bonuses, commissions, salaries, it's human nature, right? It's we are never satisfied. That's the sad part.
Okay, so you're talking in more towards an employer perspective rather than I struggle. A lot of people usually tell that that's what the learning for the younger generation I want to insist here, where people usually blame the situation or maybe the the team, the culture of the organization, or even the location. Probably they didn't offer me this thing, so how do I perform? Right? I don't have this thing, so how do I reach my targets? So you said you have your target, you know how to do that.
Absolutely.
Once you're done with that, then maybe who's going to
I think
stop
then
you?
it's about time, right? I mean, see, your job, or you've been assigned a job, right? So if, let's say, when I started, I was given a set target of number of clients, number of dollar investments, what I have to bring for the company, and if I'm doing that, and I keep on doing that, you will be paid off. There will be time where you would definitely be recognized.
Perfect. Here my question is, though you learn maybe financial services or the financial products in different markets over a period of time, and you move forward, you rightly said learning product should not be an issue. Then you started understanding the client acquisition strategies. Slowly go and close deals. Then you once it's like a
your confidence grows.
It's like a hot hand, right? You put the things one time, then it's repeatedly you could able to do the basketball. So on that way, then you are like an outperformer over a period of time. So now the part of recognition. So the team who is probably the boss of your team is not recognizing you, or the organization culture itself is not that kind of more friendly for recognition. So as a junior who is now getting into financial services, how do they find the recognition, or how do they what are the tactics and tricks they could be able to use? Because I'm talking not from the straightforward things, from the perspective.
Yeah.
So there are way to get highlighted in the organization.
Yeah.
There are way to get recognition in the
Yeah.
organization, so that you do see. You rightly said, if you don't do it's a number game. If you're
Absolutely.
not performing well, then it's by default the person is out of the organization.
True.
But we are talking about the person who is like a cornerstone, the kind of a main person who really cracks the deal, or maybe a kind of a good in client acquisition. But still somehow he is not recognized. Eventually they get demotivated, right? And the person will be leaving the organization by because I'm not getting recognized. I'm there in the organization for this many years, and my peer group is getting growth. So what is your advice at this point of time?
Well, my advice, or I would say my belief, which I have always followed, since the beginning, is I cannot change the culture on the top, right? I might, let's say if you're talking about junior level positions, right? So they will have a team manager, that team manager will have a head of sales, that head of sales will have a CEO will have a chairman. So if they have issues in the structure from the top, I cannot change that. What I can change, or how I can become better, or how I can improve my odds of being recognized in a better way, is I can look at the person who's sitting on my left and the person who's sitting on my right? And I can try and help them, because my goal was very clear. Like, I want to become a leader. In 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, it's a matter of time, how much time one takes, right? But to become a leader, that's what it takes, right? So of course you would do your job because you're supposed to do your job. But how are you with your peers? How are you with your actual team members? That is important, right? Are you helping them out? Or are you just feeling them as well as your competition? Of course, sales is a very, as I said, cutthroat competition.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants to be the top guy in the team. But at the same time, I think that's very, that's for people who have a short vision. I always had dream big. I mean, if you want to become a CEO, if you want to, run an organization, if you want to become the top guy of the jungle, of course, there will be battles, right? How you tackle that is important. So to start with, first start with the peers who you're working with. First start with the team members. Get to know them, understand, sit with them. Listening is I think, the biggest tool which a lot of people, kind of underestimate or don't pay attention. They don't have time.
Time for listening.
Everyone wants to
stories.
talk, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to just want to be heard, but nobody wants to listen.
Listen the stories, of others. So rightly said, maybe in terms of peer group management, right? And eventually one day you want to be the leader or the boss of your peer group. Maybe you're like all managers and you become the senior manager over a period of time. So that point of time, the peer group should accept it.
Yeah.
For that, you should have that kind of a good relationship.
That's what.
So you mean. So what my understanding from your discussion is, like, probably you need to be the mentor, even though for your
Absolutely.
Not only to your juniors, even for the peer group. Sometimes they have some issues or additional support you provide to
Absolutely.
them. Like maybe they are having some.
I 100% believe
you
absolutely.
are taking their work and get the things. Don't worry, I am there to help you. So they feel there's a guy to help me, and they will easily talk about good about you.
Yeah.
So that you get.
And you're doing it with a good intention, right?
Yeah.
It's not that you're doing it that end of the day he will be on your side, and it's not that you're playing that game.
So this will go like a default attitude.
Absolutely.
So you don't need to expect.
Absolutely.
And over a period of time, it pays back to you.
I agree.
Great. So on the other side of power game, right? So do you feel that there are certain things you should be careful on that, like we call the red flags? So maybe again, maybe in terms of recognition part, because sales is always you need to get recognized.
Absolutely.
Otherwise the growth is not assured.
Absolutely.
So what are the red flags the juniors should be alert based on your experience? You might be having maybe sometimes the cultural different gender bias, sometimes maybe sales, sometimes it is highly dominated by the women or the female gender. How do you feel that maybe a person in the junior level should be focused, or to notice should notice these red alerts, red flags? So how do you
I mean, there have been many situations which kind of, as you said, could be like a red flag, or like there have been situations where you enter into a sales meeting right? And you don't get that vibe,
Oh yeah.
right? I'm sure, I mean, you've
I
experienced that. All of us,
understand.
all
Yes.
of us have experienced that.
Yeah.
So you enter so it's your instinct, right? You
Yeah.
get to know, even you're the performer, or you're doing a decent job,
Yeah.
but you don't get a vibe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because there is a certain group of people, they don't like that you're being outshined, or you're being rewarded, or you're not being rewarded, or you're performing so well. Oh, how is he performing so well? He doesn't have a background in finance or in sales. He's new in Dubai. How is it possible that he's doing better than us, whereas we've been here for 5 years and 10 years, right? So these things have always come across. But I mean, as I said, these are little things,
Yeah.
right? Of course, these are red flags, but if you take it as a challenge, if you focus on what is your goal, end of the day, life, it's your goal, right? And you just focus on that.
Yeah. So rightly said. I'll adding to that same question. Like there's a red flag, and starting with the vibe is missing on the sales meeting.
Yes.
Right. So or any weekly meetings or
Yeah.
monthly meetings or target meetings.
Yeah.
As a junior, how could able to react on that particular situation? Because building relationship, you rightly said, mentoring and supporting and stuff like pleasing and be friendship with the other team members, it takes time.
Yeah.
But right now we are getting into a meeting, 7, 8 people, sometimes 10 people are there,
Yeah.
and you feel when you present, though you are an outperformer, though you have different strategies, though you have amazing suggestions, but the vibe is missing.
True.
So how you could able to react on the room?
Well, I mean, my advice would be, and I've done this personally as well in my career, is I would just go up and speak to my line manager.
Okay.
Just speak to them. End of the day, it's about communication.
Yeah.
Right? You should have a clear communication. So rather than building that negative thought within myself, I first check within myself, is it actually a negative vibe which is against me, or is it just my ego,
Okay.
which is kind of amplifying this?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think most of the times it's our ego, to be very, very honest.
Agreed.
Right? So you need to, there's a lot of self-learning, which of course comes gradually with time, with instances, and that's how you grow as a person, and also you grow in the professional life as well. So
you rightly said the ego. I'll just go one more step on that. So maybe I go there inside the room and presented well, but everyone is not noticed, or they're not like maybe interested, or they're not supporting my thoughts. So I felt it is like problem is in the other side. But you rightly said maybe 40-50% it might be in my side. That's what the reaction is all about. The culture is all about.
Absolutely.
That. And you didn't do miracle to wow to your your conversation. Maybe so I was expecting high, right? My expectation is very much high, and I couldn't get it in the meeting. So you rightly said that could be a misunderstanding, and that build over period
I would
of
say
time.
majority, you mentioned 40-50%, but I would make it till 80-90%.
Wow.
It's our own ego.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So always I have a hyper expectation.
You need to
that's
manage your
not,
expectations, right? I mean,
and
it's
that's
all
not
about
getting back to me.
That's why you
then
feel
I
disappointed.
You feel disappointed, and you feel these people are like against me.
Yeah.
Then automatically you create a imaginary enemies in the organization.
And if you still have that thought, as I said, the best way is to communicate. Speak to the people who are giving you that kind of vibe, or speak to your line manager, and communicate that if there's something wrong which has happened, communicate with your line manager.
So if you take 100% of communication, so I have 3 segments: your peer group, your juniors, and your top management. So how do you split this thing? So whom to emphasize more? Because my peer has to be very good communication, or my boss, we have to have a good communication. What is the percentage you put it over there? How to highlight this things?
I think each and every person, each and every department. I would say you can add one more thing is, because in our business, it's about clients. Right? Client communication is key as well. It's basically how you communicate with people. Right? There's no difference. No difference how you communicate with juniors or seniors or with peers. It's about being a good listener. So actually listen. So people want to speak. People want to get heard, right? So listen to them and be empathetic, right? Not sympathetic, right? So sympathy and empathy,
Two different things.
they are two different things, right? So if I can just give you an example of that, let's say if someone is struggling in his family, in his personal life, due to, let's say, some financial crisis, right? I can sympathize with him and I can help him for 1 month. Let's say I give him 10,000 dirhams. Maybe he's satisfied for that particular period. That is sympathy. That's just completely out of emotions. Whereas being empathetic, and it could be towards your juniors, towards your peers, towards your seniors, right? Being empathetic is, what is the issue? Where are you struggling? How can I help you? So I would, I don't want to just give a solution, which is kind of a short-term solution, because the next month again he will struggle, right? So we need to know where is he actually struggling. That is being empathetic, understanding the other person's situation and how you can, if you can, make it better. Maybe you can guide him in a better way. Let's say someone is struggling with his sales performance, not able to hit numbers. Like so. Of course, now we are leading a team, and not everyone is a performer.
Yeah.
Right. So the people who are not performing, I don't want to be a leader where, okay, you're not performing, you're out.
Or you don't want to give your personal leads to them. That is maybe sympathy.
Yeah.
Maybe how to generate leads.
Absolutely.
Is an empathy. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So I want to show them. I want to help them with how do you get how do you get the solution? We need a permanent solution for this.
Yeah.
Giving a short-term solution where, okay, I will assign you my clients and you're good for 1 quarter.
This is okay. Yeah.
The next quarter is the same story, right? But how do we actually generate new clients? How can I help you? But for that, you need to speak. Yeah. So that is being empathetic rather than just, having a sympathy on someone.
Perfect. So now we talk about the red alerts. Yes.
Yeah.
Red flags. There's a way of doing it and there's a way of handling it. Yes.
Absolutely.
So especially in terms of you are not recognized in the meeting, you go for a proper communication to, try to fix it and stuff like. Now the real betrayal, right? So this is one of the key topics in the power dynamics. Sure. When we have, even though we are good, like people are, seeing our empathy, like the way we show the empathy to them and the way we establish the trust in terms of client or other stakeholders. But over a period of time, sometimes we don't put the checks and balances in a way where people try to betray us, right? We don't put the checks and balances so that they easily take it for granted. Okay, this guy is like, or this girl is like quite simple to handle, right? Or maybe it is not intentionally done, but probably sometimes we are the victim for their innocence, right? So they just, talk something about us that's going to backfire on us. So how this betrayal has been projected in the financial services, especially on the sales team. Let's talk about the sales related things. So people sometimes, maybe you have identified client, they just grab it, or maybe something like I'm not just putting some example, but like I'm just explaining how is your viewpoint on the betrayals in the organization, because you position yourself, you feel that you're progressing day by day, but there is a betrayal happened over a period of time. Are you aware about it, or how to avoid it as a junior level person? Those who are watching it here. So what is your thought on that?
As I said, you cannot change the other person.
Yeah.
So to start with that, you cannot change the other person. So if the other person has that intent to steal someone else's clients, and this of course has happened a lot of times, right? It's a pretty common practice, which is unfortunate, right? I hope it changes, it evolves as we are evolving as human beings as well, and we have the newer generation. But yeah, I mean, there is, wherever there is, it's a fast-paced environment, especially, where we work, it's a financial services. We're working for global financial markets. So there is cutthroat competition, who gets the best client, who gets the best leads. And people are always looking, who is he speaking with? Why am I not getting that lead? And all of that. I would say, I mean, as an individual, if you're starting, let's say, as a junior level sales or a mid-level sales, of course, you need to focus on yourself. Don't worry about others, because if someone has an intent to cheat or to take your clients or, do something wrong with you, I cannot change the other person. But of course, what I can do is I can be much more careful. with the clients who I'm speaking with the leads who I'm speaking to, see that the data is, because there are very strong data privacy laws as well. So not to take things lightly or loosely, especially in the investment industry where we are in, where, client data protection and all of these policies are pretty serious and, have to be taken care of. So we can just be, a bit more aware of our client base, our leads, and our focus. But yeah, end of the day, I cannot change the other person.
Absolutely. Here, one more point I want to highlight, because now you said very key information about the regulatory compliance, in terms of database and stuff like. And but usually, the gossips are, it's like a lifeline in the organization. You can't completely stop unless until you don't see the co-workers.
Yeah.
So during the office environment, so there are a lot of gossips happening around. So during that time, probably sometimes we become the victim, right? So eventually there's a betrayal. Then we see the red flags, and if you don't address it, sometimes it leads to people leave the job or asked to leave the job.
Yeah.
So these kind of gossips are inevitable. So how do you see on the financial services? What kind of common gossips? Like, is it like individual level, or still like the maybe you talk about clients or something like? So what is commonly you heard about the people gossip to you, like maybe in your like?
Well, a gossip is a gossip, right? I mean, it could be about anything and everything.
Yeah.
So it could be about other team members. It could be about other departments. It could be about the client who you met yesterday and how was he behaving over lunch. So it could be of anything, right? So I mean, if it's just now, there's a difference between if you're just having a banter or if it is an actual gossip, right? So try to avoid get into the whole gossip thing. But if it's a banter, if it's just having fun, because if you're working in an environment with different departments, with people, you should also have you should enjoy your work as well, right? So
you rightly said you try to avoid the major gossips.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's the thing which I want to highlight now, because the gossip is the starting point for the loose talks, right?
Yeah.
You talk something about a person, right?
Yeah.
And I try to give something better about that person than what you know about him or her, so that I position myself on a better way. So eventually, a lot of thoughts are shared, and sometimes the facts are shared, sometimes stories are shared, unrealistic stories. So people then that's how the cooked up stories sometimes become the massive issue for the power related the conflicts. So do you think that people should avoid gossips?
Absolutely.
Like, the juniors,
100%.
like probably you're forced to do that. Then how do you avoid?
I mean, it's more of it's more about like how in engineering college, or when you're going for MBA, the seniors kind of rag the juniors, right? So it's more of that situation where you're saying the juniors are forced to be part of the gossip. But I mean, the end of the day, it's your individuality, right? I mean, if you as an individual have a responsibility,
so you need to be careful, even though you're going for parties with outside.
Absolutely.
Maybe your friends.
Yeah. So keep your drinks in check.
So don't talk too much. Yeah. That's more important.
Yeah.
Good. So thanks for all this knowledge you shared. And so now you are starting your own venture. So seeing about the financial sector for nearly 15 years. And seeing the markets ups and down for a couple of years on these issues. So now 9x markets, right? That's how currently you're doing the business. So what kind of a power related issues you might be facing, whole ecosystem, whole stakeholders, and how you feel that what kind of a culture you want to inculcate, so that it is not out of the hand for anyone, like who could able to have that kind of a better culture, so that it doesn't affect the organization. So what is your thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what issues can come in terms of the whole corporate structure is whatever we've covered so far, right? The main points is, you always learn from your experience. So of course, I've learned from my bad experiences as well as good experiences, and you try to build a culture because as a co-founder, as a CEO, you take the good parts, right? Whatever you've learned in your life, starting from childhood. right? And of course, in your professional career as well. So you take the good parts and you try and, include that into that culture. So
So you rightly said the good part in the sense somebody took you as a salesperson, then you build your career. So you're not a financial services person,
Yeah.
and you're not belongs to sales as well. You didn't
Yeah.
do specialized programs on sales or specialized credentials or courses
Yeah.
on sales. So in your organization currently, are you hiring out of the sector, out of the region,
Yeah.
so that you bring different thoughts and experiences, so that you build your
You answered the question.
Is it so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we, to be honest, and I mean, it's interesting we are having this conversation because 2 weeks back I was just having this conversation with our chief strategy officer and also our chairman that, because I've been in this industry for now 14, 15 years, I just see it from my lens, right? Because I've just worked with multiple companies, different brokers, and my friends and my colleagues who are now my friends. We almost have the same stories.
It's a
same
template thought process.
Absolutely, which I don't want.
Okay.
How? Because now being in a highly competitive environment with so many companies, growing in the same industry, how do we innovate ourselves? What is the differentiator, right? So that is the reason, we actually we at the moment hiring as well, and we've already hired people who are coming from different backgrounds, who have worked in different countries, different organizations, different industries. So that, and you also asked about what culture do I want to set, right? So just if I can club this with whenever we are having our meetings, right? And it could be we have people who are super juniors who are interning with us and coming to the top, which is, let's say, me and the chairman, the C-level staff. And whenever we are having a meeting, because everyone wants to be heard, right? So we have a very open culture where we want to hear their thoughts because they are the new generation, right? So they have a different view about how we think, and this is what we want. We actually are now upgrading or working on a couple of new projects, including our website. And I've allocated people who are not from the industry. And I was like, don't take my view. Of course, the products and all of that, we will give you the content, but think of it from your eyes. Think of it as if it's your company. Don't take my inputs because my inputs are influenced, on the basis of my work experience.
Got it.
As you said, it's the same template, and I don't want that template.
So you rightly said when you have that kind of a weekly meeting, monthly meetings, you ask them to speak. So that's what you already suggested us.
Yeah.
Open communication.
Absolutely.
So here the key take is like the open communication.
Yeah.
So don't, if something goes wrong, just try to address it and talk to the people, relevant people, and build a good relation with them, right? So that's how you could able to avoid certain, red flags, avoid certain critical situations, and you could able to, I mean, like power play is always there, but you are in the good and safest hands rather than
you try to avoid that, right? So I mean, you have to keep an open environment in terms of people to give their honest and actual feedback, not to feel pressured or not to feel the fear. Oh, what will my boss think? Oh, why did I say this? It's fine. It's okay. I don't like yes man around me. I don't want those kind of people where, okay, boss, yes, boss. If Vikas has said this, that means it's right. No, right? I want people to give their own views, to challenge me, right? Because that's where the fun is, right? And that's where you can actually create magic, I believe. That's where you can be more innovative. You can put your thoughts, which are coming from different backgrounds, different nationalities, different experiences, different industries, and that collaboration, that is the only collaboration which will create magic, I believe.
Okay, now let's have a quick question. So a person coming to Dubai with all the expectations, but junior, 1-2 years experience in their own country, and this Dubai is always highly competitive. You should be like always smart, so that you could able to move forward in your career. So what is the one advice you could able to tell, a very brief thing, so that the person could able to take this and move forward in the career?
I think have an open mind in terms of learning, right? The learning never stops. Especially at a junior level, you can learn from anybody. And not only junior level, like I am still learning from the interns who I have, right?
Wow.
So
Agreed.
the learning never stops. You're always learning something new. For junior especially, the more they speak to their peers, the more they speak to, their seniors. And that's why, at 9X Markets, we have a very open door approach,
Okay.
right? I'm accessible to each and every person, irrespective of their position or which department they are at any point of time. I mean, you've been to,
Office,
one of our offices and you've seen, right? We have a very open floor and I'm very accessible and approachable. But at the same time, I don't want to lose sight of the vision, what we have, But I think being approachable and accessible is a very important thing for any organization at the moment because people want to feel, important. They want their thoughts, they want their views to be heard. And this is the culture what we are bringing in 9X.
So the junior should be open enough to learn new things.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Vikas. It's a great
Pleasure.
talking to you. And I hope this will be reaching to the right people and, it's a great learning experience for them. And have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
you.
Thank you.